Hi, everyone. This is Susan Cousino. Welcome to the OSU PDC Pro Office Hour. This is the office hour for summer 2025, so June 23rd to December 14th, 2025. This is call number 10, and the next and final lesson is lesson 10, concept plan and local network survey. That's actually gotten switched around. It's local network survey and concept plan. Due next Monday, December 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific. Technically, I have a small group with your cohort. I've provided an extra week so that assignments submitted up to December 8th will still be accepted. But if they are not submitted by December 1st, then I can't give any time for revisions or remarking. Usually that's not an issue. I haven't had any issues with students this cohort at all that I've needed to regrade assignments or anything. So I don't anticipate it to be a problem. Feel free to take up to December 8th if you like, if you want my feedback on it, and be able to revise so that I can regrade, get it in by Monday, December 1st at 9 a.m. As per the course syllabus. Okay. So I am doing a pre-recorded session this time. I'm actually going to be experimenting this for future cohorts as well. However, I had to miss this week's regular scheduled office hour on Monday, so I'm recording a pre-recorded session, and then I will do an office hour at the usual time at 10 a.m. Pacific on Monday, December 1st. Same link. Feel free to log in if you can. I apologize that I couldn't make it a more convenient time for those of you that can't make it on a Monday at 10 a.m. I completely understand. Okay, so check in on the lesson, on the template for lesson 10. So I'm going to bring that up on a screen share. A minute here. Share. Okay. So I'm going to want to see this in. There we go. Okay. So this lesson's grades are distributed across the local network survey, which is 4 points. And then the concept plan for 18 points for a total of 22 points. This is one of the largest points-wise assignments in the course, and it's your final lesson. After this, you're done, but try not to rush through it if you don't have to. Really take your time if you can. Okay, so starting with the assignment 20 local network survey. This is pretty straightforward. Just fill in the template. It's very much like the map surveys that you've done previously. Use clear graphics and images. Be sure to use site sources if relevant. Make sure to include like distance from your site. If there's nothing available to fill in, even within like 15 to 20 kilometers, miles, fill those out anyway. It's good information to know if you have to go that far afield to find like-minded folks. I need to see just a moment here. No, I cannot. Okay. So this is going to be here. Here we go. Well, I was hoping I could control the slide from within, but I cannot. Okay. So you're going to be looking for designers and farms and then other categories. So other categories could be livestock producers, if you're planning to raise livestock on your site. They could be engineers, earthwork companies, anything like that that is going to be relevant to your site, your projects that you're working on. And then there's another section there for instructor and education companies. So fill out as many of those as you can. Make sure you've got all the details, anything that's required there, and then remove your yellow highlighting. I'm still seeing some that's hanging on. Get some nice clear images, cite your sources once again, and you're good. Okay, so assignment 21, your site cross-section. I'm going to do this. All right. Okay, just arranging windows a little bit here so it's a little bit clearer. Okay. Oh, and then you're going to have a SWOT analysis for your local network survey. Before I forget, so that's going to be a SWOT analysis relative to your proximity to other companies, to anything any companies that you determine might be in competition, or would more helpful would be collaborative opportunities. Okay, so your concept plan, you're going to start off with your existing base map, very much like you did for the Zone 1 design. So this can be your line drawing is usually the clearest. Make sure you've got all this information sorted out. You should have your scale sorted by now. Most of you do. Okay. And then this is going to be your complete final color concept design overlaid on top of your existing base map. So this is going to be all the things that you want to add in, particular plants, rock gardens, berry picking area, chicken coop, all of that can go in here. Now you can stretch those, you can divide that into 2 slides if you need to. Take a look at the examples and see how students in the past have really summarized the amount of detail that they need to provide into a single slide. If you're feeling like, oh, I just can't get this all in one, just take a look at how other students have done it. And it's usually possible for most, for most students. You should be able to get the single concept onto that slide. Give some details about the individual elements that you're including. Don't need to include individual, like description of individual plants. You can describe particular areas, like there might be like a kitchen garden, a main vegetable garden, livestock area, so on. So just really use those examples to kind of help guide based on your own context. Okay, here's where you can get into the specifics of your concept plan. This is going to be your design goals, which you've gone through for the Zone 1 plan. This is just going to be expanded. So your proposed zones for the whole property, pathways, fences, gates. Here you're going to use your grayscale base map because you want the grayscale underneath to show what's existing and then the difference with what you're proposing. Okay, water management plan, similar to what you did for Zone 1. The only thing here is that this is going to be over your whole site. So this is where you can really integrate your rainwater catchment, any groundwater collection that you're doing, your wells. If you've got like well-based irrigation and rainwater catchment or earthworks, that can all kind of come together at this point. Okay, your soil fertility, where your composting is going to be, if you're doing cover crops, say any livestock that you're going to be using for manure or for compost management, stuff like that. If you're going to be capturing water in order to restore soil fertility, you can include that here. Mulch, basically just follow, as usual, just follow the text. But this is where all your soil fertility aspects are going to go. And again, this will be your grayscale map underneath. Okay, and then a close-up of your final design, detailing elements, plant systems, and microclimates. So this is a details 1 of 2, so you're going to have a couple of these slides. So this is specific vegetation and elements, and you can see the examples here of what they're meaning by that. So, and quite often, it's not quite so important to get the individual species in every aspect. I mean, you can often substitute one for the other. For instance, like rosemary and lavender can be somewhat interchangeable, or a Russian sage or white sage that, like, you may want a specific plant, but you can also leave that a little bit open, like you're going to want some sort of a fragrant shrub, and then have a list of like short options, because sometimes you'll go to a nursery, especially if you've got limited options for nurseries, and they don't have what you want in stock, or they don't have anything that looks really healthy, or you find a really special plant that fits that sort of general niche, but isn't exactly what you'd originally envisioned. So you can leave some openness for that here. Okay, similar thing, vegetation elements, design details 2 of 2, so you can see what they did here, and then compare that. Oh, I was hoping they would have the same. Yeah, I believe this is the same. The Woodsman's Wild. Yes. Okay, so these are 2 from the same concept plan. So primary management areas 3 to 4. and then area 1. So this is how she's divided that up. So you can get some ideas from that. And everybody's going to be a little bit different, or quite different, actually, depending on what you need to depict. Just remember that here is where you really tell the story. This is where you pull all those pieces in and start to really create that clear narrative. Imagine you're doing that for a client, so that someone that doesn't have the landscape interpretation knowledge that that you've developed, they don't have those design skills, that they can look at this and understand what you're planning and what you're proposing to move forward with. Even if you're just doing it for your family, it's a good practice to do that. Okay, so I gotta go back to the original slide. This is where some of you have asked where we're going to be doing a budget. This is the place. So this just shows year 1, and then it looks a little at first it's kind of a little off-putting to me. So this is your year 1 chart to show what your first year is going to look like. Down here, you're going to insert your 5-year total. So you might opt to put like a black line along this bottom, set this out somehow so that it stands out a little bit more. But just know that this total here is not the total of this. So those aren't completely, I mean, they're not unrelated, obviously, because this is year 1 and this is just over 5 years. But this does not equal the sum of this. Okay. So you want to put in here any concept level details about your budget and phasing plan. Any of the particular elements, like you're going to be focusing on doing earthworks in the first year, getting some of the main trees for guilds, for fruit tree guilds in, for instance. You're going to be building an animal enclosure. What are the major budget items for year 1 that you're going to focus on? And then how does that set the stage for implementing the rest of your plan? To find the full spreadsheet for that, you are going to go here. So you're going to want to open up this and then make a copy for yourself. It says right here, make a copy of the chart, save it to your OSU Drive, personal drive folder, and then put your own project details in. Okay. And remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Okay, see, some people have formatted it a little bit differently here. You're welcome to do that if it works better. These folks put in all 5 years. That's more crowded than I'd like to see on a single page, but if it works for you, you go right ahead. Okay, and then your permaculture principles and social permaculture. This is where you're going to look back to whether there's a dozen, sometimes there's 15. There's different permaculture principles. But things like, reduce waste, or use waste as a resource. I'm not going to pull them off the top of my head. But this is where you're going to go back to those principles and choose like 3 to 5 to really flesh out how you're using them. Use and value diversity, creatively use and respond to change, use edges, value the marginal, design from patterns to details. These, just pick, here they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 principles along the side, on the left side here. So that's sort of spacing so that you can actually develop some of those ideas and with specific to your project without having to cram all the information for all 12 or 15 principles in there. I'm saying 12 or 15 because David Holmgren, Bill Mollison, Jeff Lawton, they've all had slightly, Toby Hemingway was another, have had slightly different versions of what the full suite of permaculture principles are. So this is a very common one with these. Yeah, this is a very common one here. But there are there's other versions that have like a few more that just sort of develop certain aspects of it. So whichever you're using is fine. Just pick 3 to 5 of those main permaculture principles to work with. Use some images that help illustrate that clearly. So that might be, if you're doing a herb spiral, do a herb spiral. Show a photo of it. So an inspiring image or part of your design to insert here. And then your social permaculture elements are going to be how your site integrates into, say, your local community, your regional community or governance, or how it improves lives for people around you. So something beyond your family, how it connects you to the people around you, or to a wider space. All right, and then you've got a SWOT analysis. This is specific to, now this one says local network survey and final concept. I would focus on the final concept for this one. And then you're going to go your usual conclusion: consider this assignment as a lens through which to view your site. What have you learned? Any kind of final thoughts on the course can go here, and then what your final goals and tasks are going to be based on this. So, all right. And if you have more questions, you can feel free to drop them in here. I should have plenty of time next week to answer them. All right. And then a final assignment now is your course review. And we've put this actually into the course so that we can be a little bit more certain we're going to get student feedback. So please do take a little bit of time to fill it out. And just simple questions. What was your experience of the course? What was your experience of your primary grader instructor? That was me. Feel free to be fully honest. I do not see this feedback. It goes to the administrators. I can think of plenty of things that don't always go perfectly smoothly with me as a grader, and then so I apologize for any of those. I hope my support has been helpful throughout the course. I do love it when students stay connected over the years. I've got a few students that I still reach out to occasionally and kind of see how their projects are going, if they need any support. You're always welcome to email me or reach out on WhatsApp, join the WhatsApp group. But yeah, I mean, you're welcome to share your absolutely honest experience, because I do not see this. So don't be worried about hurting my feelings. It goes towards the value of the course. Of course, if there was something nice, feel free to say that too, because that's always nice to help. Okay, and then what can be improved in the course from your perspective and why? That could be anything: additional assignments, fewer assignments, more office hour time. That would be a big one for me. Anything like that. If you find the course too technical, not technical enough, that's all great feedback for them to have. Okay, and then our final slide. Click this link to complete the final assignment. That is going to be a final. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is going to be your final course overview survey. All right. Okay, and then at that point, you're done. Post your link in the discussion, do your peer review feedback, and you have completed the course. Now, I have no doubt that any of you that are already at lesson 8, 9, 10 and are submitting are well able to finish the course. I'm seeing good to excellent quality work coming in. I have no qualms about issuing certificates. If you have not finished yet and you don't think you'll be able to make the deadline, reach out to Dow Orion. So her email's in, kind of sprinkled throughout the course for admin. Typically, there's a $400 re-enrollment fee if you want to get into another cohort to, basically to redo the course to finish and get your certificate. You go through the same project. You can go through with the same assignments completed. You just have to resubmit them. That's fine. You can request me as a grader again if you want that. So then you've got a little bit of continuity. I don't take cohorts every single cycle, but I will be taking them in the next one. So starting in January. What else have I got for you? I think that's it. Okay, so this is going to be your pre-recorded. I will have the Q&A session on December 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific. I would welcome all of your thoughts, questions, feedback. Feel free to join the WhatsApp group. Feel free to email me after. And yes, if you do think you're going to need more time or you're not going to be able to finish with this cohort, email Dow Orion if you want to re-enroll, and she will get you sorted out with that. She'll let you know what your options are. All right. Okay, I'm going to expand this out. All right, well done, everyone. It's been really nice to get to know you. I'm getting WhatsApp messages on my desktop here. Okay. Oh, one more thing. If you've been using an appendix throughout the course, now is the time to clean that up. Add or compile any resources you've used. If you've been dropping links and citations, clean them up so they're all in the same font size. It's not marked, so it's just for your future reference. But that's the last thing. Okay, and that's it. All right, take care, everyone, and I look forward to seeing those of you that I get to see on Monday, December 1st. All right, take care.